You know, ladies and gentlemen, good time back again once again. Let's lock in. Shout out to the IPA, International Passport Association and affiliates, merch, all the stuff, description there below. Back to conversation. It baffles me that when it comes to one of the main talking points for why you shouldn't travel abroad, they always talk about how dangerous it is, right? How you run the risk of getting kidnapped, especially in a place like the Philippines, being third world, blah, blah, blah. You hear a lot of people's main talking point for why you shouldn't go is because of how dangerous it is. You've heard certain stories that have been sensationalized on TV. More particular in my area, one particular incident back in the 2010s. There was the night market bombing in Davao City that didn't really go over well with a lot of people, had a lot of people on edge a little bit and stuff like that. So when I say that stuff abroad happens, or let me say, I shouldn't say that things abroad don't happen, but when you're talking about how dangerous it is abroad for somebody who's lived that life for a decade of his life consistently, those situations are few and far between, right? Situations are few and far between. Now, Doc's going to get into some shit. Some people may like it, some people may not. I'm going to try to tread lightly because I don't necessarily want to get into the details of it all, but y'all should be able to pick up what I'm putting down, even though I'm not going into it as deep as it needs to go. But in reality, a lot of people will believe, or a lot of people, and it's actually been kind of shown to us in the last couple of years just how dangerous it is to live in the United States too. I would also go out on a limb and say that it's probably more dangerous in the United States than it is in a foreign country for a foreigner like myself or for an American like myself. As many of you guys know, I am an educator of sorts, right? I do teach. I am a teacher, right? It's what I do as a profession, right? I find myself more nervous about people bringing weapons to school and potentially causing harm to other students, and as a result causing harm to me, more so than I have ever been when I've lived overseas in the Philippines, right? I could walk around in the streets at night. I felt safe. No issues, no nothing with me, right? But every day I feel like I wake up on edge a little bit, here in the United States. Because let's face facts, man. On any given day, anything can happen to you. You know that, right? On any given day, anything can happen to you in any part of the world. But I found that it is highly likely that something will probably get me here than it would if I was overseas. Let me just say it that way. There is a high probability that something will probably get me here before it would get me abroad, right? Now I'm praying to God, knocking on wood and all kinds of stuff, that nothing happens to anybody, especially myself. But if we're facing facts and we're talking about safety and we're talking about concern for well-being and all of that shit, I feel a whole lot safer abroad than I do in the United States. Then here we go. I know it's coming. Go ahead, give it to me. Let me beat you to the punch. Well, Doc, if you are feeling like this or you're doing it like this, well, why the fuck don't you just leave the United States, man, and just leave the United States behind? It's always a plan. But every plan of action has short-term and long-term goals. It takes time and it's a process. You understand? I will be the first to tell you. And let me say this, though. Let me make sure I say this, too, because I felt like I should have said this in the beginning. But I want you to understand this if you made it to this part of the video. I am proud to be where I am from, okay? I'm proud to be from the United States of America. I am not ashamed to be an American. I'm not going to go overseas and shun away from the fact that I'm American. That's stupid as fuck. I love where I'm from because this is a land of opportunity. And this is the place that has given me the opportunity to be able to have a passport that will allow me to travel into different countries with relative ease. I don't really need a lot of visas. I don't have a lot of challenges when I present my blue book in other countries. So this country has allotted me and given me the benefit to be able to do that. So don't think for 1 second that I am going to denounce myself as an American. That's fucking stupid. It's just the way the environment is right now, the current landscape of this particular country that we love so much. It ain't what it used to be. And you can fucking plug in a bunch of different things that's happening right now when you can say, and you can see why a lot of people believe America's fucked up, right? So never think for one second that I am not proud of where I'm from, because they've given me the opportunity to do what I do. But yet still you have to see the current landscape of it and where it is. So I will say that I am proud to be an American. I'm just not necessarily proud of the direction in which the country has been going, in the last couple of years, probably decade or so. Right? So back to the question, man. Oh, Doc, why don't you just leave? Again, short-term, long-term plans. You have a lot of people who come from other countries, China, Africa, come to the United States to seek the opportunities, right? And when they do come here, they take full advantage of those opportunities. They make a lot of money. They do one of two things, or they do both things. They either bring more relatives to the United States to help build their empire, or they funnel that money or send that money back home. Right? If they make their money in the United States, entrepreneurship, making own businesses and stuff like that, they pretty much send that money back home to their people to help build, for lack of a better term, their own country up. Make the money in the West, spend it in the East. Kind of a terminology of sorts that we've kind of come to learn and come to utilize in our own way of living. A lot of us that consider ourselves to be passport men. But that's pretty much what it is. Same rules still apply. Stack up my bread in the West. Believe that. But when it comes to really spending it, you know where we're going to spend it at. So that's kind of where we are still. But when it comes to the safety aspect that we've previously talked about, it kills me that one of your main talking points still, to this day, when you talk about safety in countries abroad, right, that you don't think about the safety in your own home country. Right? It bad here, big dog. It bad. And you're talking to somebody who is actually in that shit. We're talking about somebody, and don't quote me on the statistics, because I don't like to use statistics in this regard. I don't like to talk about it because it sucks. But there's probably been a lot of school shootings and shit that have happened that have not been publicized, right? Or people bring a gun to schools and shit that haven't been publicized, right? Somebody gets an F on the test, they want to fucking wet up the whole school. Feel me? And again, I don't like talking about this shit, but you gotta understand, and we gotta face facts and reality. This is what it is. Somebody going through something, guess what? They're gonna take that out on everybody else, right? And if there's one thing that I've noticed, living in the Philippines specifically, I can't speak to any other country, but Asia, I can speak on, I feel, when I say this. But I've learned that individuals will likely cause harm to themselves before they cause harm to others, right? I want you to pick up what I'm putting down. They will likely harm themselves before they harm others. When it comes to failing the NCLEX, right, which is a licensure exam for them to be certified as nurses in the United States, or any type of major testing, any type of test that certifies them in anything. If they fail it and they go through it, if they really feel overwhelmed by it, I promise you they will hurt themselves before they hurt others. There's something about that mentality that kills me, unfortunately, but it is the way of the world. I mean, look at Japan's suicide force. I need not say more, right? That's just the type of shit that happens more so in Asia, which is why I'm not really scared to go to a mall and shop with my wife, or go out in anywhere in the Philippines and enjoy my fucking day. Not like if I'm here in the United States, and I promise you I go to a mall, head on a swivel, man. I don't know who looking to get me in the parking lot. I don't know who doing this. I'm not saying that they are looking to get me, but just in case they are, you got to be on alert here in the United States. A lot. You got to be on alert. And I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of people who have these talking points, avoid going to to these foreign countries, they're not safe. These are people who have never left the United States, right? Y'all know that, right? I don't need to tell you that, but just in case you need me to further inform you, the majority of the people who have naysayer points about traveling abroad, saying it's dangerous, are usually the people who have never left the United States a day in their life. Land of the free, home of the brave, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to exercise my Second Amendment right, for the simple fact that I got to protect me and mine. That's just the way that it is. Even though I can't exercise those rights in other countries, I don't have to exercise those rights in other countries because I don't feel like my life is in danger when I'm overseas. I kind of know my way around. I know places that I need to avoid if need be, right? You got people who will educate you on what you should avoid, right? So as long as you follow suit, you will never find yourself in situations that'll put you in danger, right? You just got to be smart about it. You got to be smart about it in the United States. You got to be smart about it abroad if you really want to know the truth. And that's how you avoid danger abroad, right? Simple facts. But in reality, I just feel like some people still have to have things to say in order to keep people sitting still, keep people, having to deal with the continuous stuff that's happening in the Western world. When you wise up, you open your eyes a little bit. Come join the brethren on the other side, man. It's been a good time, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed. I ain't got much more to say. Happy holidays. Good dog is out. Peace.